Hello, Doctor. I want to share my presentation of idea outlines of assignment 4. The title is Competency Framework for Agriculture TVET Instructors of 4.0 Industrial Revolution in China. I divided into 7 parts of this outline. The first one, research issues. As we know, TVET differs from general education in its use of occupational standards to outline the complex learning and workplace situations. As the impact of information and communication technology, TVET has become more accessible to students, though in face of COVID-19 pandemics, with school closures and impossible delivery of learning in the ordinary way. In China, since industrial upgrading and economic restructuring accelerations, the demand for technical and skilled personnel in all areas is becoming more and more urgent, and vocational education has provided strong talent and intellectual support for economic and social development. But compared with other developed countries, especially Western countries, China's vocational education system is not fully completed, and the skills training standards, a set of technical skills, talents, policy, and industry university integration are uneven. And the school systems and institutions need to resolve some problems like infrastructure, technology-enabled pedagogy, and distance learning solutions. Except that teachers' preparation to shift their delivery online with digital tools exist unevenly. And with the main tendency of TVET instructors in China, we called dual qualified teachers. There is insufficient quota of that. And the training system, as well as competition aligned with industry structures and distribution, are uncertainty. So it's urgent to issue competency frameworks, regulations, professional and qualification standards for TVET teachers to strengthen demand-driven education on the basis of accelerating digital transformation and intelligent upgrade. So my study aimed to the following 3 parts. In general, the study intends to develop a competency model for China's TVET instructors profession in agriculture, the specific areas of 4.0 Industrial Revolution, theoretically and adaptively, to develop an instrument of competency measurement in supporting dual qualified work performance of TVET instructors accordingly. And the competency model and the competency measurement instrument are named at, as I said, Agri-Master Workshop Competency Model and Agri-Master Self-Assessment Tool, ASSET. There are 3 sub-constructs. Number 1, to identify constructs and subconstructs of competencies required for dual qualified work performance of 4.0 Industrial Revolution for TVET instructors in agriculture. And this part, we use comparison, or meaning comparing research of TVET instructors' competency framework in other typical Western countries. And another one is the perceptions of competencies by 3 ways: interview, questionnaire, and case study. The second one, to develop a framework of competency model for dual qualified work performance 4.0 industry revolution for Tibet instructors in agriculture. And we focus on online teaching and learning to represent 4.0 industry revolution. And another one is to set valid framework of Tibet instructor competency model. And number 3, to develop a reliable instrument with essential validity evidence to measure competencies for dual qualified work performance. There are some keywords of this part: items, constructs, reliability, validity, and competency profile to support the reliable instrument. And let's come to the third part. I'd like to design the HAO research by mixed method study. And at first, there's a pilot study. The instruments used to refine phase validity and content validity by experts. And there are another 3 sub-constructs of this part. The first one is based on comparative research. Some other countries' standard or benchmark to explore descriptive conditions for the China's framework constructs. And the second, we use case study to consider teachers' competency and gap among Tibet instructors. We use the case study to explore the interaction between informants, competency indicators, and especially the instructors or experts should be participated in their programs by importing foreign benchmark missed internationally, as the recent development of China's Tibet. We import so many curriculum criteria benchmark from other countries to localize China's Tibet internationally and domestically. Yeah, and the third part, there are 4 phases as a systematic approach to develop the competency framework for agriculture Tibet teachers. Phase 1, to identify the suitable candidates. Number 2, to set a job analysis identification, which needs to be mastered by the instructors according to their field of expertise. Phase 3, identify teacher competency components. And the last one, fix the criteria for the competency and develop the competency framework. According to this part, this research design, and we have samples and populations. The experts in this field should be professional especially, and their demographic information of experts also very important in the study. And respondents in the study consists of all vocational instructors in agriculture who served in a vocational college. And the population of this study needs more than 200 respondents. At first, the pilot study conducted in the study involved 30 agricultural instructors from this kind of colleges. And data of the study are going to be analyzed using the rush measurement model. Let's come to the part 5. In detail, we use the semi-structured interview for data collection. Open-ended and probing questions are going to be used to obtain further information. And then face-to-face interview are going to be applied to collect the data too. And 2 types of items in this research questionnaires, including multiple choices and 5-point scale items. After that, after the data collection, let's come to the data analysis. The most important is the encoding. The encoding process consists of the 3 processes: open coding, vertical codings, and selective codings by in vivo softwares. And another 200 questionnaires are going to be received and processed and entered into SPSS software for data testing. At this stage, a normality test needs to be performed on the data upon completion of the review processes. So after that, let's come to the expected findings. I expect 4 findings. They are: the first one, numbers of constructs and indicators of competency model for dual qualified work performance framework. And then number 2, evaluation of the measurement model involving the test of indicator reliability, internal consistency reliability, convergent validity, and discriminant validity to form a framework. And then number 3, tendency and scale for training for agricultural educators or instructors to improve competency, especially in motivation, knowledge, and skills. And the last one, I'd like to ask them a question as a researcher, whether the framework model is sufficient predictive relevance for endogenous constructs, and whether it can meet the recommended conditions after the HAO study. Okay, that's the end of the share of the presentation of idea outlines. Thank you.